Hey guys, yeah, you know what? I decided to go live because I think it's important that we just have a quick conversation about just all of the things that's been happening in the last couple of weeks. And I think the most important thing to get started with is just safety. Like, I have come to the conclusion that the city that I'm in is unsafe for me as a woman. I'm a young woman who has worked my ass off, and there's pretty much, I'm in Dumbo right now. And there's pretty much nothing going on in all of New York City. This place is a ghost town. This place is a wasteland. Especially from a person who's grown up here. I'm one of those people that I went to school in Manhattan my whole life. I went to one of the top high schools. I didn't, I ended up going to CUNY because I felt like why spend all this money to be indoctrinated and then to look around and not have a job, which was the most, I think, the best decision I've ever made. I literally have three friends living in Europe, dodging their school loans for an industry that basically does not even exist anymore. So when I tell you that I'm super blessed. I knew it was a good idea for me as a young woman to stop investing so heavily in corporate America. Um, my corporate job is one of those things that has been holding me back for years, and I think a lot of people would agree. Like, it doesn't benefit us to be stuck in this office all day. I mean, now there's not even an office. Literally, the work that I do, that they're paying me 8 hours of work for, it takes me an hour to do these jobs. This job is so easy. It's like the brain power required. It's so, and the thing is, you mean to tell me that for the last, I don't know, 18, 20 years of schooling, that this is what I was preparing my life for, to be a scrum master? Who cares? I literally have friends who make more money doing things they love, and I make great money. It's not that I don't make good money. It's just that this city is not set up to succeed anymore. I mean, the way it's set up now, it's pretty much work in your house, the box that you rent, the overpriced box that you pay for. Like, let me step back. The purpose of this live was not really to rant, but it was really more so about moving forward as a young black woman with talents and skills. Like, okay, great, I've got a career and an ability to take care of myself for as long as they determine that I'm good enough to do this base level job. But to be honest with you, really what it comes down to is the safety. I mean, in this building that I'm in, it is an office where we're all renting space, shared space. In this building that I'm in, I'm the only woman here, aside from the girl at the front desk who looks like she has a high school level education, quite frankly. I'm not trying to put anyone down, but I didn't work this hard to be, you know, pretty much in a ghost town with base level people. Um, I was out in Miami a couple of weeks ago. It was a 2 day trip that ended up lasting me. 2 day trip that ended up lasting me 13 days. At which point I decided I'm going to move to Miami because there's really nothing here anymore. Um, like the industry that I'm in financial services. And quite frankly, once Goldman leaves here, nobody wants to be here. I mean, most of the companies have already left. UBS already moved to Jersey 5, 6 years ago. I don't know what to say. I feel like the people that are here, they're just here because they're stuck. It's like, stop trying. The city is not really, I can say that. I'm a born and bred New Yorker from the Bronx, went to Manhattan, school in Manhattan my whole life. Great schools, Eastside Middle School, LaGuardia High School, then I went to Hunter College. And all of that for what? To sit here, not one person sees my face all day. I see the same three people all day. It's like three people in this building, or the four people in this building. Um, Maybe the old man that lives next to me, the corner store guy. How depressing. How depressing. Yet they want our faces on everything. I've seen nothing but news programs offering Black women contractors' licenses, uh, abilities to be contractors, abilities to be developers in a city where no one wants to even pay rent. why are you setting us up for failure? Honestly, as a Black woman, what you should be doing is you should be taking whatever resources you have and moving. Like, I'm making an offer this weekend and I'm out of here. February 1st, I will be in Miami. I won't stay another day here. I thought this office would be an opportunity for me to feel a little bit more comfortable, like I was getting things done in the city. And just being here, I almost feel like I waste my time because there's really nothing to be accomplished in this city. Everything that I do is on a laptop. It's time to be a digital nomad. It's time for me to continue to do the things that I set forth in my life instead of feeling like I'm trapped by the city. I don't have any children. My fiance is 6 feet under. My mother just died. In New York City, is that there's nothing that three awkward Black NBA players are going to do for me. I mean, they can't even win a game together. When they get their chemistry right, I'll come back to Brooklyn. Until then, I'm a Miami girl. Like, sorry, there's not enough sunlight. I tried to move around in this room about 400 times so I could get decent sunlight and actually be seen. I put on makeup so that I can be seen by three old men every day. What a depressing, what did they line us up for in this city? It's nothing but failure. It's like if you don't have a family and you don't have 4 and 5 kids to mind or send them to homeschooling or whatever, what are you doing here? This is not a city for young people anymore. This is not a city for upwardly mobile people. This is not a city for even a person to emerge. It's like I had a great story. Young girl from the Bronx emerges, makes good 6 figure salary, LaGuardia, talented, arts, own a record label. None of this shit matters if no one is here to witness it. It's like working in the dark. You could be thinking you're doing something, and then when you wake up and all your shit is all over the place because you couldn't see. It's really blind out here. It's people just throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks. And it's just continual rhetoric of rebuilding. Rebuild what? Rebuild your own fucking city. These people didn't even want me here most of the time. I spent so many years in this city where they were telling me, don't get pregnant because they'll think you're a ghetto Black girl. Go to school, do this, do that. For what? I look around and I'm the only one out of all my friends with no children, with no family, with nobody, and nothing but a fucking job in this shitty office. So to be honest with you, what I'm saying to Black women now is make your own fucking choices. Um, there's no way in hell that I'm going to waste my time listening to De Blasio, Cuomo, and whatever other Latin, Italian, Portuguese, or whatever person that's going to line up my life for failure. This city is broken, and it wants Black women to rebuild it. It wants us to scrub the hospitals and raise the kids and plan. A man can do those things, and I can benefit him. The job that I have right now is sufficient for me. It's enough for me to get up out of the city and restart. And even if they fire me in 6 or 7 months from now, I can have paid 2 years of mortgage down in Florida as opposed to being paycheck to paycheck here. I think, my friend said to me the other day, it's not that you're angry, it's that you're more frustrated than you've ever been. You used to be so nice. What happened? This is what happened. A desolate city where people can't even get anything accomplished. Like, what are we doing out here? Why are we paying $16 a day to park in the parking lot? Why am I getting tickets in a city where no one is even here? I mean, the energy is so low. I'm a high energy New Yorker. The energy is so low here. And I feel bad. I really feel bad for the people who invested their whole lives here, who built families here, who built businesses here. Like, I was in the process of doing something, and I'm so glad that this whole shit flatlined before I really put my resources. Before I put my resources out, I'm happy this whole shit flatlined so that I could say to myself, okay, don't spend any more money around here. Time to get going. All I live by now is alkaline water. That's all I live by. Alkaline water, good sleep, exercise, and good food, and I got to go. New York City is something that was supposed to be. New York City is the thing that keeps this country going keeps us determined. When you come into a position in this democracy where people don't even love New York and they don't even see the value of everything that was built upon here, there's really no saving this shit. I mean, everyone is leaving this city or has left already. The big corporations are pretty much out. The MTAs are about to downsize. I'm sorry, but it looks like we're in the makings of a new Detroit. And like I try to tell you guys, like, honestly, what I'm trying to say is, let me get a little more sexy here. What I'm trying to say is that it doesn't matter what you do, you can't control your environment. Your environment is something that was out of your control as a young Black woman. The only thing you can control is your ability to choose another environment. I can't make New York be something just because I want it to be something. I kept giving it and it doesn't give back. It just takes. And now I'm super glad that I stayed in Rocky's house because if I had been paying $2,000 or $3,000 salary all these years, I would have been so upset at myself. And now I'm so glad that everything is hitting the fan while I have an opportunity to change and make changes. In another week, I will be sitting in Miami, doing my videos from Miami, super happy and super excited about a new chapter in life that will allow me to flourish. What I'm saying is, I've never seen people in my city lose so badly. Like when I say lose, I mean we have lost in life. There's really not anything to gain around here. I mean, I'm looking at the Brooklyn Bridge right now. I'm looking at Manhattan right now, and all those buildings, they mean nothing anymore if no one's in there. If there's no culture and there are no people, buildings mean nothing. So now that I'm done with that part, what are we gonna do? Okay, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna continue to do what we've been doing all of 2020, which is locking our womb down, keeping our makeup done. Obviously, my face is doing real good these days. I'm getting a lot of sleep. Um, I wear my little Princess Leia buns. What we're going to continue to do is be sexy, be happy in the best way we can. I find that physical activity does best for me. It's very hard to work out when it's 20 degrees outside. It's supposed to be like 20 degrees this weekend. I'm actually leaving on Saturday. Like, it's going to drop. Tomorrow's Friday. It's supposed to drop. I'm leaving on Saturday and going straight to Miami. I don't even give a damn about this. I mean, what I'm saying is give up in the city. If you have a family and you want to stay here, that's different. But if you're a young single woman and you're still around this place hoping something's going to happen, I think I'm probably one of the only ones. And I think I'm talking to women that have already gone. I mean, there are literally men out here who scrap New York women from their lists because because let's be honest, we're hard, we're abrasive, and all of the things that they taught us to be successful as Black women in New York City, none of that shit works when it comes down to finding someone to take care of you and secure you. It only works in the boardroom when you're trying to take care of yourself. You look over at Brad and he's laughing at you because you're going so hard to replace him, but yet you'll never replace him. At the same time, his girl, right? Brad, his girl is at home relaxing. I never forget that year that I worked for Pernod Ricard. I worked for them for about 4 months. And when we went to the holiday party, I'll never forget just the sheer fuckery, French and Dominican and this all different type of bitches dancing on tables. And here I thought they were gonna judge me. And yet these people are dancing on tables because all of their men are the men in the C level that I work for. All of those women were women that were girlfriends and wives. And here I am, prettier than almost all of them, in a little professional holiday dress with my sweet Italian from Brooklyn fiance slash husband sitting there next to us, being judged by some off the rails Argentinians and Italians and all kinds of ends and pelicans. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody's better than anybody, not in this city. Those days are over. The day where people could pull rank on you and say, well, I am Thierry and I'm from New York, but actually I'm from France and the only place I live in America is New York. No, no one cares because this place is trash now. Now you're the only asshole with a multi-million-dollar condo slash apartment slash home that you can't sell. And I'm still glad I have no property here. This is a place, if you want to get property, you buy it now while it's cheap, or you wait. You wait until May when shit really flatlines around here. When they do away with the MTA, or when they're not going to do away with the MTA, but they're going to cut 7,000 employees and scale down the service by 40%, which they might as well just say 50%, which means you'll be waiting a half hour for a train. And it won't matter to them because you have nowhere important to go. It only mattered when people needed to get to Goldman Sachs on time, when people need to get to Amex on time, when people need to get to New York Life on time, when people need to get to Price Waterhouse on time, when people need to get to Ogilvy on time, when people needed to get to Edelman on time, when people needed to, you understand? When people need to get to Macquarie on time, when people needed to, that was the only time the train mattered. And now that all these companies are pretty much given up on New York, the train system doesn't have any real value. They're going to shut it down as much as they can so they can rebuild it for the future. New York trajectory will be here for another 5 years trying to make something happen. And I don't have that time. I want to get married and I want to have a family. They say, okay, you want to have a family. So what does that mean? That means this. That means what I'm doing here in New York is wasting my valuable reproduction years. And I've been wasting them. And I knew that, but I always had someone. This is the first time I've spent over a year by myself with nobody in sight in terms of a person that I would actually consider to have my children with. I literally hang out with a guy who is down on himself, down on his luck, trying to repair his life with nothing but a dream and a hard work ethic. Okay, I'm going to give him the fact that he's a hardworking man. But what I don't understand is, why do you want to be a slave in New York City so bad? Why don't you go and be a slave back in St. Lucia? Why don't you go and be a slave in Africa? What is the purpose of being here? And so I'm not criticizing anyone. What I'm doing now is making my own rules. I'm telling you. What I realized from just everyone talks about Lori Harvey, what I realized about Lori Harvey this last week, not even just her, but several other women that I'm watching on YouTube that are traveling all over Africa with their boo, all over the Europe and everywhere with their boo. African girls and African American girls. What I'm learning is that they don't ask anymore permission, which is one thing I never do. I hate authority, so I never ask for permission. But what I also realize is that they just do what the fuck they want. There's no sitting back and weighing out the options. We don't have time for that. I always like to weigh out options, and life is moving too quickly now. It's way too quick now to be weighing out options. I mean, while you're doing one thing, you have to do the next thing. So what I decided is, while I'm working, I'm getting ready to go down to Miami. I'm not going to spend another day here being miserable. I'm going to get the life that I deserve. There's no way for a woman to rest in her feminine when she's around a masculine environment, an environment that's cold and callous with really no ability for us to grow and become better people. What's the purpose of that? The way to keep a woman happy is for her to have diversity in her life. Okay, the job can't be the only thing I do. I never hated working, but what I hate about working is that working makes you feel as though it's the only thing important in your life. No, not anymore with this whole COVID thing. And I know my job's going to ask us to come back into the office, but they're already telling us it's July and most likely won't be July. Look, if you guys ask me to come back in the office anytime after October or November of next year, you guys can have your job. I'm not coming back to cold New York for my 35th. Nope. Not doing another Christmas here, not doing another Thanksgiving. I'm actually in a nice office right now. And to be honest with you, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter that's the Brooklyn Bridge to me. That doesn't matter to me. Look at that. The shit that used to matter to us, none of that shit matters now. What matters now is being in a community with people. I want to be around people. I want to be around people that have life in them, that like music, that like culture, that like arts, people that have love in them, love for other people, consideration for other people. That's the kind of environment I want to live in. And these buildings and these cold streets aren't going to do it anymore. Just being real. Just being real. Like, we can be in this cold environment all we want, but and all I ever see are people that look like me struggling and doing things on their own with no help and no support. It seems like the most powerful of Black people are in the South, and I need to go join my masses. So that's what this live is about. Ladies, we cannot control our environment, but what we can do is control ourselves and make better decisions. And we can run like a fucking sprinter when shit is not right. We're not supposed to fight. What they're doing in New York City is they're asking us as Black women to fight, and that's not our role. Our role is to come and light up the lives of men with our intelligence, with our functionality, with our beauty, with our bodies. I mean, literally, the reason why people are so fat in New York and have always been so out of shape is because you sit at your desk all day. And now you're not at your desk, you're in your house. There's no excuse because they have you sitting at your computer for 10 and 12 hours a day and you take it seriously. The problem with a lot of people here is that they take it seriously. They want to all day get the fuck out of here. We're working from home. As I work from home, I work lightly. I'm never going to push myself like I was in the building. Give yourself a break. Pay yourself first. Give yourself your time first. If you need an extra 10 minutes to do your makeup in the morning for these Zoom calls, will you push your meeting back? The way I got on the phone the other day. I got on a call 2 nights ago with a new manager who's taken over from my old manager. And he said, one thing everybody says about you is you're always smiling. You're always so happy. I love that. Because everyone who knows me knows that I'm a particular type of woman. And so smiling every day is something that comes very difficult because I actually have to be happy to smile. The reason why I'm smiling every time I come onto a call with them is because they don't know that maybe 5 minutes before that I was doing something else that benefited myself. And it doesn't cost me nothing but a smile to get on these calls with you guys for 15 minutes and talk about absolutely nothing. So now if I had to be sitting in your office, I'd be miserable and I have a whole different face on. Take advantage, ladies. Set yourself free. Get a passport, travel, find the men that love you, and get out of here. Get all over the place. I'm about to be everywhere. Miami's going to be my home, but I'm not going to stop there. I'll still be in New York and I'll still be all over, but I'm not going to limit myself to this place thinking that it's going to rebuild itself. They say 4 or 5 years trajectory. I am 30 something years old already. I mean, I won't be 40 in 4 or 5 years. I mean, I won't even really be 35. I'll be just hitting it. But to be honest with you, I won't wait that time. No, I won't. I'm sorry, guys. I won't. And I want more Black women to get up and go. I have a friend, for example, who told me that another friend is doing sex parties. I laughed. She's gonna waste her last bit of youth and energy throwing sex parties. The same day that we were talking about that, one of my best girlfriends, Rachel Majani, called me and let me know that she is a property owner today. See, high and low places. I have friends in high and low places. The point is, girlfriend that's throwing the sex parties in New York, she could get left. She could get left. Literally, she's somebody that I wouldn't even consider her a friend today. She's someone that was a friend years ago. We went out a lot together, but ultimately her mind is messed up. You know, she's one of those women who doesn't understand that she had a girlfriend who was a serious type of woman. And all you want to do is party and hang out. That's why everybody always treated you that way, including your current man who supports your sex parties and does them with you. No, it's called a pimp. And so while I'm getting that information from one friend, I'm hearing from another friend that she's a property owner. So I have to hang up the phone with this one and get on the phone with this one. I have to start eliminating these out of my life and keeping only these. Now that I'm leaving New York and I'm going to Miami, these ones, they could stay in New York. These girlfriends, these friends, the ones that are upwardly mobile, those are the ones that I need to continue to focus on as I move forward in this chapter. Because one thing I realized is that it's not even about hate. I won't say people hate. I will say that people are complacent. And I will say that people are comfortable with the status quo and they're comfortable with what they're used to. And that's just not good enough for me anymore. I'm sorry. Anyway, get back to what you're doing. Control your environment by controlling yourself and your decisions. Okay, guys? Love ya. Peace.